anyone who recently just moved back home relate to me. I moved back home 3 months ago. I thought it was the best decision. I mean, it still is the best decision ever. It didn't really click to me until today because it was my first argument I had with my mom, but I didn't realize how much me moving out of this house and like, you know, having some space has like made my relationship with my mom so good. Like, when I was living at home, we would literally be arguing all the time just because we're so alike and we're both so stubborn. And I didn't realize that until this morning because we got into our first argument, but it's fine. It was the first one in 3 months. I'm so grateful to have a roof over my head, but like, I think my mom and I need that space to like cool off before we can talk and like hang out. Because like our relationship before me moving in was like, it felt like rainbows and sunshine. Like, she would come over, cook, we would hang out, have a good time. I would come over here to my parents' house, hang out with the fam, and it felt like we never argued. But now living back at home, like, I'm like, oh my god, that space is so much needed. Anyone else realize that? I don't know. But I love her, but golly, we can go at it. Like, it's what, two Thai stubborn women yelling at each other. If you ever walk into that, just walk away. Just walk away. Don't even try to, just walk away. Let them figure it out.
People always say they want to be like you, but don't know what you have to do to be like you. One of the things people always tell me is like, how did you buy a house like that at 31? How did you buy a house like that at 31? I went back home. Bachelor's degree, husband, 2 kids in tow, went back home. My mother, and this is a privilege, right? Like, my mom had a house that was big enough for me and my family to be in. But let me tell you the story. I wanted to buy a house. I had written down my list. I wanted to get a bachelor's degree. I wanted to go into law school. I wanted to get a new car. I wanted all these things. And I told my mom about my list. And she was like, you're not going to get that paying New York City rent. Come home. And I was like, all right, come on. I'm grown. I'm not coming home. And my mom was like, if you want those things, you're going to have to sacrifice. Come home, make a plan, buy your house, and then go back. And then do whatever you want to do. Needless to say, right, when I initially came home, it was only a 1-bedroom, right? My husband went with his mom for a little bit. My kids stayed with me. My mom fixed up the basement to make the basement of her house an apartment for us. And this is why you could never play with my mom. But she fixed up the apartment, made it a place for us. We stayed there for 4 years. Any debt that I had, student debt, whatever debt that I had, we cleared up. Then, you know, we made a little mistakes here and there with our finances because we had money now. We were both teachers. We were home. Like, we had extra money. We paid our bills, but we had extra money. But needless to say, my mom was like, okay, let's think about the plan. What you're going to do is you're going to keep your salary. Since you make this amount of money, your husband's salary is going to go into the pot for the house. And any extra money you do from any extra jobs is what you guys will spend on this, right? You're going to cut this. You're going to cut your amount into 4, put them in different pots, let that grow, and then you can go buy a house. I was like, all right, bet. I'm listening now. You know, when you're a teenager, you don't want to listen to your mom, but I'm listening. Within 6 months, I had the money to buy my house. And my house is very nice. It's very nice. A house with a pool in Jersey. And granted, I know people don't want to come to Jersey, but I love it here. I'm never going back to Brooklyn. What I pay for this house is what I would have paid for a 2-bedroom house in Brooklyn. Now, a house is not for everyone. It is a lot of responsibility. But don't let anybody make you think that going back home is a step backward. If you have a village, use it. If you have to go backwards, that is just what it is. You go backwards and you have a plan to take 10 steps forward, period. Anyway, I went home. I figured it out. I did it. You can too. Don't let nobody make you feel ashamed.
Yo, what up, YouTube family? It's your brother Yate. First of all, I want to say thank y'all for 20K. We hit 20K yesterday. That's what's up, 20K subscribers. Since then, though, I've been feeling terrible. You know, Hashatan trying to stop me. I'm still here uploading. I'm feeling sick, though. I'm feeling terrible. Headache, legs aching. You know, I was vomiting. The whole nine, I feel like I got C19. But I'm going to keep it coming, man. Family, you already know what to do. And if you're brand new, too, thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe. And ring the post notification bell as well. This one is about people moving back in with their parents. This is a common trend. I'm seeing people that was up financially. When I say up, they had some hundreds of thousands. I'm seeing them move back in with their parents. Sometimes it's the best thing to do, though. A lot of people saying, hey, I should move back in and stack first. They got out here, didn't have no bankroll, nothing saved up. For the most part. You know, the people that had the couple 100,000, they just overextended themselves and were living beyond their means. So now they know they have to fall back too and humble themselves and focus on building a nest egg again. So when they get out here, they're not paycheck to paycheck. All right, man. Let's get into it.
All right, y'all. I guess we could say this is part 2 of me moving back home with my parents. Technically, I'm not moving back home, y'all. Technically, they got a new place, and I'm moving into that place with them. But yeah, I'm about to show y'all the area that's for me. I'm going to be upstairs. Their bedroom is downstairs. So I do have my own privacy, good privacy. So yeah, I just wanted to come in, tell y'all. I'm about to show y'all. First of all, excuse the mess. Y'all already know I'm moving, so y'all know mess comes with moving, and I've been in here cleaning. But this is my loft area. That view, I wanted to show y'all a view looking over the loft into the living room. I probably turn this into like a little theater room or something. This is the third bedroom right here. That's going to be me and my mom's beauty room. The whole upstairs is mine, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and share with my mama. This is going to be my bedroom. And this is my bathroom. This is another view of the loft and the little overlook over to the living room. Again, I think I'm going to turn this into a little theater spot or something cute. If y'all got some ideas, give them to me. Again, this is another view looking over into the living room. Another view looking into the bedrooms and the bathroom from the loft. And then I want to show y'all the steps going down into the living room. And I want to show y'all the view looking up at the loft from the living room. And yeah, that's it, y'all. That's my area. That's all y'all need to see.
Am I going backwards by moving back home? Let's talk about it. I don't know why, but in my head, going back home just feels like I have failed. I had plans of living in Jersey City, moving back to New York, and now I just don't see that for myself anymore, and I am going back home. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Anytime I go back home, I always revamp myself and level up even more. I think that the first time this happened, where I had to go back home, was after college. I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology. I was dorming in Brooklyn Heights. COVID came. We all had to move out. I went back home. That's where I rediscovered some things. And then I ended up moving where I am now. It's empty, but yeah.
Living at home was never the plan, but I have been living back with my mom for the last 9 months now, and I wanted to talk about maybe the biggest pro of moving back in that I think is worth considering if you are in a situation where you could live with family for a short to midterm amount of time. So hear me out. I am a hypnotherapist. I work for myself. It's a one-woman show, and I love what I do. I genuinely love getting to work with people in this way. But as with any business, it's not really linear, and things are constantly changing, and I'm constantly refining what I'm doing to grow my business. And in order to focus on my business, or in order to even pursue this at all, when I was living on my own, which I was doing for the last 6.5, almost 7 years, completely alone, no roommates. I have a cat, but otherwise alone. I was doing so many other jobs. I was a nanny. I was a freelance writer. I was a yoga teacher. I worked part-time as a temp for my former university's admissions team every winter. The list goes on, and it was so stressful. And I think my nervous system got so used to constantly being in go, go, go mode that I didn't actually realize what it was like to rest. And I didn't realize that I didn't realize it until maybe 6 to 8 weeks after moving back in with my mom. And I was like, oh wow, if I'm tired, I can rest. I can sleep like a full night of sleep if I want to. I don't have to constantly be thinking of how to make this happen or that happen. I don't have to constantly be like working, doing this job over here and that job over there. Like, I can just focus on this thing that I really want to work out. And so, look, everyone's situation is going to be different, right? You have to figure out what is best for you. There's also cons that go along with moving back in with family as an adult, and we can talk about those in another video if you want. But I think if you are in a position where you really want to pursue a certain line of work or a certain degree or something that is going to stretch you or require you to be super stretched thin by living on your own, if you have the opportunity to live with family or to have some sort of living situation that gives you more stability and more groundedness, I really think it's worth considering.
We talked about the pros, saving, not having to pay bills. Because for the most part, either your parents going to let you, just split the bills with them, or they're going to let you stay for free if you got good parents that's financially literate and they're able to survive on their own, then they're not going to ask you for anything. They've been doing all right, right? But the cons could be if you grew up in a toxic household, then you could be reminded of that childhood trauma. You cannot heal in an environment that broke you. If you're going through your healing journey right now, then it's really going to be detrimental to your mental health. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You got to weigh the pros versus the cons and see if this is something you want to do and if it's something that you should do, or could it be detrimental to your mental health and your progression in life. So that's for you to decide. You really got to do some self-reflecting, talk to the Most High about it if you believe in the Most High, and ultimately your decision, it's already been made. He already knows what's going to happen in your life, but he'll help you to see clarity. And if you have discernment, he will give you discernment on what to do. It could come in a dream. It could come through, your conscious. This is him talking to you. You get that feeling.
I'm 26 and I'm moving back in with my family, and it hurts my ego so bad. But if you're out there and you have lived on your own for most of your adult life and you're having to come back and move with your family, I just want you to know that it's okay and it's normal and that's fine. I feel like I got really caught up I have these TikTok followers, I have these essays published, I have this job, I have this big name that I have to keep up for myself. But really, I was trying to keep up this appearance for people who did not know me and who don't give a damn whether or not I live with my family or not. So I just feel like it is a good time to start over. I'm about to be 27. My Saturn's return is about to start, and major changes are going to happen for me. So if you're out there and you feel scared about moving back in with your family because you feel like you're sacrificing this life that you had, I just want to remind you that you do have to sacrifice the life that you have in order to get the life that you want. And it's okay. We're all in this together. Let's hold hands in camaraderie and move out together. Pack your bags and go back to that place where you can start over.
Calling all late bloomers. The timelines we're setting for ourselves are breaking our own hearts.
Hi, my name's Yasmin. I'm a Chicago girlie in her late 20s trying to normalize the unnormalized.
I'm about to embark on a journey that I never thought I would embark on, but here I am. I'm about to move back in with my mom.
Anyone else need to move back home? I'm highly aware that this is on TikTok. I'm highly aware that people can access my profile and see what's going on in my life. I don't really care though. I'm doing this because I know I'm not the only one, and it's okay if you're not where you expected you would be. We all have our own journeys, our own timelines, and everything, I believe, happens for a reason. Society pressures can really, really get to you, and I've learned comparison is the thief of joy. Although this is a journey I didn't expect to embark on, I'm gonna try to make it as fulfilling as possible. And if this resonates with you, then follow along.
A lot can happen in a year, and I am determined to prove that.
Y'all, when I tell you this move out day was everything I thought it wasn't going to be. So not only did my parents come and help me move, which I really appreciate them. God is so good that I have good parents who are going to help me move. We got movers to come down, get the furniture out. And got all my things out, but I didn't realize how much stuff I really had. So I still got stuff left in my apartment. And if you don't know, my lease is not up until next Sunday. So technically I have a week to finish getting the rest of the things out of my apartment. But y'all, I was so tired that I ended up falling asleep on the floor, as you're going to see in a minute. But the movers end up taking things out to the truck. And y'all, when I tell you everything is trying me, the air mattress that I thought I was going to sleep on has a hole in it. And I ended up getting no sleep last night. My back and my neck and every bone
and joint hurts in my body. I'm in so much pain, y'all. And then my upstairs neighbors, I don't know if they got a new surround system and they decided they want to start smoking cigarettes, or new people moved in, but my house smells like cigarettes and feels like a party is going on all the time.
I'm feeling like her right now. My legs hurt, my head hurt, my joints hurt. Like, I'm really just grinding this out, and I have to go through this too. I gotta move tomorrow, actually. I gotta move tomorrow. I'm not moving back in with my parents, but I still have to go through the moving process, and it could be stressful, take a toll on your body. Nobody like moving. I don't think nobody like moving. That's why people pay a moving company or whatever, but I'm a minimalist, so I don't got too much to move, so I'm gonna do it myself. But yeah, man, if you're in this predicament, you can't let the trials defeat you. There are always going to be trials when you're about to go to another level. And when I say another level, it could be back to the previous level that you were at, just so you can get to, the new level. So you can bypass the level you were just coming from, go from here, bypass where you were right here, and go all the way to the top. This is giving a lot of people an opportunity to save 10, 5,000, whatever the case may be, whatever their targeted goal is. So I respect it, especially if you don't have no pride, no ego, and you're willing to do it. A lot of people what are people going to think about me? What are they going to say about me? They let that control them. Forget them. It's none of their business. The Most High knows what's destined for your future. You don't got to impress nobody. You don't need validation from nobody other than him.
My daughter moved out for the last time, I want to say December. Over the last year, I have documented the relationship between my daughter and I, and some of the conversations that we had. They're pinned on my page, but she's been home for the last month. And my baby came back very different, extremely different. In the conversations that we're having and the questions that she's asking, she's very different. She also is making decisions for her life that I don't necessarily agree with. Before she left, she kept a lot of her life to herself. She didn't share it with me. She may have shared it with social media. She may have shared it with her sister, her cousins. She didn't share it with me. And that was because she didn't want me to be mad. These are her words. I don't want you to be mad at me, mommy. She just didn't want to experience my disappointment. And so now I'm telling her, I would rather you tell me what's going on so I can support you properly rather than for you to live in shame. So I've been intentional about reworking my relationship. My kid left my house looking like she looked 18. She has come back home. My baby looks grown. I'm talking about tattoos, pierce. She had a couple piercings before she left, but she came back like pierced down, tattooed down. And I'm just like, why? But it's her life, right? And you get to have that. You get to do those things. And there's going to come a time where she may not want those tattoos anymore. And she may not want the piercings, but they got to be on her terms. Because I've now realized that the more that I try to force her to be who I think she should be, is the more that she rebels against me. And I know it seems logical. Like, oh, you just not figuring it out. Man, when you are in the thick of it, nothing makes sense. When you're in the thick of raising your kids, nothing makes sense. You can give people so much great advice about their own kids. The minute you got to talk about your kids, oh, they are the exception. They are the exception. I meet people every day, poets and everything, who are in their early 20s. And I'm like, yeah, you need to live. These are the times to make these reckless decisions. This is the time to be a risk taker. And then when it comes down to mine, I'm like, no risk taking. I'm the mama telling your kid to go ahead and live their life while fearing my children living their own. Good grief. This is probably a 2-part video. I got to come to terms with my honesty.
I've moved back in with my mum and dad at 25 years old. Hey, I'm Chi. I'm 25 years old and I've got until December to save for a house deposit whilst living at my parents'. So I moved out of my parents' house about 6-7 years ago when I first went to uni when I was 18. So basically after the 3 years of uni, I just never moved back home because, once you get a taste of the freedom, you don't really want to go back. But I did get to a place where I wasn't long out of a long-term relationship. My housemate and I weren't really on the best of terms by this point. I think I was just like debating a lot, like what are my next steps? And for a while my parents were saying to me like, come back home, save some money, you know, we won't charge you any rent. I just decided that if not now, then never. Like if I don't do it right now, like I'm actually never going to do it. And yeah, I moved back home. Now I know you're waiting for the pros and cons, so let's get into it. Pro number one. So first pro, obviously, the money. I cannot remember the last time I had a full paycheck to myself. You just never feel like the paycheck is yours. I feel like the paycheck is everybody's. It's going to the landlord, it's going to the council, it's going to the water bill, it's going to the Wi-Fi, it's going to the obvious pro. You can stack money. And number two, the support. When my mental health wasn't in the best of places, I don't know what it was about living alone. It just feels like it does hit 10 times as hard when you're in a house by yourself. Like it's just awfully quiet and it's, yeah. It can get a little bit isolating at times, so I feel like coming back here, my mental health, when it's not in a good place, like I can literally just go to the other room and talk to my mum about it, like we're very close. So that is definitely a pro, having a support system. Not that I didn't have them when I wasn't living here, but it's different. It's different when I'm living all the way in another city. The third pro, I'd say, have more time to focus and grow. For me, for example, I've gone from living in quite a big city to now moving back in with my parents in like a small remote town. There's not a lot to do here. And just come to a more remote area and sort of like sort your life out, plan your life. Do you know what I mean? Cons. The unsaid curfew. What do I mean by that, do you ask? Basically, anytime I go out or I've got plans on a weekend or something like that, and then before I leave, every time it's always like, come home at a responsible time, don't stay out too late. Now, they never say a time because I think they realise that, you know, I'm grown. Oh, there's not a time, but there is a time. Con number two, full-time helper. Full-time helper, cleaner, cooker, everything that's me. But I guess when you are not paying any money, you can't really complain. So but what isn't too great is Saturday morning, time to clean. And I'm literally just like, leave me alone. Okay, third con. I've not seen many people talk about this one, but like deliveries and takeaways. So, I mean, with the online shopping, I've got a Zara package coming every other day. And then, you know, everyone in the house sees it because the postman. And takeaways, to be honest, I don't get them that often, I won't lie. And it's like, you're not getting back into your old eating habits, are you? Because I used to be bigger. And it's just like monitoring what you're eating. Oh, you're not getting back into your old habits. I'm like, no. Anyway, so those are my main ones that I can think of, to be honest. If you've got any more, let me know. And if you haven't already, drop me a follow to keep up with my journey of saving for a house deposit. And also trying to manage being a baddie on a budget, because I can't spend the way I used to spend, which is, it's a process.
Moving back in with your parents, especially in a black household, has got to be the jokes of all jokes. Legit. Ain't no peace. Ain't no teamwork. Ain't no parent, because clearly, you know, they had us for nothing. Like, why can't, like, black people, like, actually come together and be a family like these other race? And I'm not saying other race probably don't experience that, but I know they don't experience with the black child experience. If you know, you know. I'm not about to go in detail, but if you know how it's like moving back in, home with your people. And in this economy, you would think they would be open to, like, you know, come home, save money, you know, pay. You gotta pay a bill or something. I don't mind that, but you know, let's come save money. Let's figure out right? Whatever. I don't care what age if I ever have a child. I don't care what age my child is. If they have to come back home, baby, come home. And just because you decide to come home, I'm not gonna cost you your peace or your sanity. Do your thing. You're grown. Save your money. You're gonna pay at least one bill, but I want you to do what's best for you. Like, you have a place to lay your head peacefully. Especially with a black mom and the daughters. Ladies, raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Please, I know I'm not the only one. There's something with that, the black moms and the daughters.
Because are you a hater? Oh my God.
I moved back in with my parents about a month ago, and I must say, I am so chill. Like, life got so expensive, you guys. Like, I was paying like $1,300 for my apartment. Even though I liked my apartment, I was like apartment poor. Like, I was not able to like really decorate it. I wasn't able to do like a lot of stuff for real because I was literally trying to keep up with my rent. And it was just so overwhelming for me. I just made a decision to like leave, and I wasn't getting evicted or anything. Like, I literally just would like made a decision to leave, and it had to be like the best decision. I feel so much like less stress. Like, I sleep good now. I'm less stressed out. I'm finally able to like pay off some debt, because that was like another thing. I was like staying in my apartment, but I was like literally just paying my expenses. I was not able to pay my debt on like anything. Like, I'm so good. I paid off one of my debts in like just 30 days now. And it's just a big reminder. Like, I plan on just staying here for like a year, at the most or whatever. But I must say, like, I am so happy now. Like, I can finally go and get like a new car, whatever. But I would rather pay like my parents a little something than me pay like $1,300 a month and not be able to like really do much else. But anyway, like, I don't know, I just feel so good. So if you're like debating, like staying with your people or whatever, like in this economy, like, just if you got somewhere you can go and like they're cool with it and you can get your life together, like, why not? Like, yesterday, I spent $53 at the grocery store and barely got anything. Like, I literally got like 10 items, and I was $53, and they weren't even big items. This economy is crazy.
That's a key point. Credit card debt. This is a way you can get out of credit card debt, be able to pay those bills off, or repair your credit if you have to. Save money to repair your credit. There are companies that could do it for a couple hundred, anywhere from a couple hundred to $1,000, depending on how your credit profile looks. And I do credit repair myself. This is an opportunity for people to get right, man. I don't blame you if you're going back to your parents' house. And this is crazy. My mama actually, she started saying this during C-19. She was like, it's going to come a point in time where everybody going to have to live together. People going to have to humble themselves and move back in with their parents or their family members. It's going to be like the Great Depression. That's what she always said, right? And now we living through the silent depression, and we seeing it. But people don't got no pride, no arrogance about them. I respect it. I do. Some people won't do it just because what they think other people will say. And that means these people control your life ultimately at the end of the day, and you live to impress others. Listen, man, if you're going through this right now, let me know your age and what's your plans. Why are you moving back in? Is it to save? Is it to finally pay off some debt? What is it? It's your brother YT, man. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Peace, and to my Hebrew family. Shalom.